Hi, it's Jennifer Henry, the host of the Game Changer Real Estate Podcast. We're doing things a little bit more informally today on this episode. Sheri was in the office. You're going to meet her in a second. And I decided to just do an impromptu, don't even worry about our background, just sit down and do a quick episode because Sheri's busy and she's got a lot to share today. So I just want to take advantage of this time. So for those of you that are viewing this video, we appreciate your grace with our casual atmosphere, but here, what today's really about is the content anyway.
Absolutely.
So guys, we've had a hiatus on our podcast for a little while as we were kind of regrouping and rebuilding our content. And what we're kicking off now, today's episode is the first of a series that I hope you will find to be worthy to come back to every single week. We are going to be interviewing our very own agents who, by the way, are amazing, all of them. And not just because they've decided to join Game Changer Realty, but because they're truly changing the game. In fact, for those of you that are watching the video, you can see Sheri's shirt that says, I am a, and on the back it says, a game changer. Yay, look at that. I love it. So she can't wear a jacket or sweater because you would cover up the beautiful logo on the back. But anyway, We're here. So you guys are probably wondering who this amazing person is. This is Sheri Livengood.
Hey.
And Sheri joined us when in Game Changer Realty?
I really kicked off in January.
Okay. She kicked off in January. I met her previously, and as soon as I heard her name, I was like, what an amazing name for real estate. So you pronounce it Livengood technically. However, it could be
Livengood.
Livengood.
Right?
I mean, with a real estate license, why wouldn't you?
Definitely.
I think it's a perfect name. Sheri came on board here a few months ago, and now today I'm interviewing her because earlier this week when I asked my agents to share one thing that they thought every new agent should know, she just had some really great insights. And I thought I need to capture that on our podcast because if our agents are benefiting from it, so would others or other people, prospective agents. So that's what we're going to do here today. You ready for this, Sheri?
Yes, ma'am. Absolutely.
All right. So I'm going to ask you the one most important burning question that is really kind of the anchor to our entire series. And that is, as a new agent, what is one thing you wish you had known before you got into real estate and really delved into the nitty gritty of what real estate is?
Honestly, when you asked me this, I thought about it. And honestly, your mindset, the mindset that you have to keep a positive attitude and your focus on what you need to focus on rather than getting distracted. Just keep your mindset right.
Yeah, and that's one thing we talk about a lot here at Game Changer. We probably talk about that more than anything else. And, not everybody embraces that, and you have. And so when you say keeping your mindset right, tell us a little bit more why that's important to you and how you've seen it change inside of your career and your business so far.
So honestly, my confidence level has increased tremendously, and just focusing on what you can do, what you are, your strengths and what comes naturally for you and how you can best benefit your customers. That really is huge.
Yeah. And we so many agents get caught up in like how to be a good real estate agent, how to sell a house, how to write a contract, all those things that are important. And from a broker's perspective, I don't diminish the importance of those. But to your point, how important it is to just really always keep your head straight. And it's easy to get your head out of the game. So what kind of things would cause a real estate agent? And again, I know you're a few chapters ahead of anybody considering getting into real estate. So having done this now for a few months, what are a few things that could cause someone to get in their own head?
Yeah. Well, one thing would be, the competition. There's so many other agents out there, and everyone knows 5 other agents, and why would they choose you? That can really creep in if you allow it to. And honestly, just to not worry about that and just focus on finding your people that you're meant to help and being that person, and believing in yourself and having that confidence that you need.
Every day, not just once, right?
Every day.
Because is this a one and done for you?
No, every single day.
Yeah. Well, and for those listening, I've been in real estate for 20 years and it's still an everyday deal for me. I mean, there are days I wake up and even though I've been able to charge forward and do some really cool things in the last 20 years, it's still like we still get in our head. So I don't think this doesn't expire. We always have to be working on our mindset. And I have said often, if you've listened to any of my previous podcasts, I've said that we get paid in direct proportion to the energy with which we show up. If you show up with stinking thinking, if you show up with a bad attitude, even if it isn't like an overtly bad attitude, even if it's just blah, you're going to get blah results in your life. And so I am not about fake hype or anything like that. But when you can draw deep, dig deep, and pull out from within you the confidence and the mindset and the truth, and not let your head run the show, your feelings run the show, you're going to have a lot better business, and you're going to be a lot happier, and you're going to have a lot better relationships.
Absolutely.
So what other things? So competition could be something that could cause you to get into stinking thinking. We talk here at Game Changer that it's not about competition, it's about collaboration, and there's plenty of business for all of us. The most updated numbers for the Northeast Florida Association of Realtors as of Wednesday was 11,562 agents in our board. Yeah, that could get in your head. Okay, but we worked through that. So you've worked through that. What else? What else could mess with your head?
Well, honestly, I've had a deal that I was working really tightly, and I'm still working with my customers. And we've been under contract, and that contract fell through. And if you're not careful, that can kind of bring you down. It certainly can bring your customers down. So you not only want to keep yourself in the game, keep your head in the game, but also help your customers to stay in the game and not get discouraged, and to, believe that they're going to find the home that's meant for them.
Well, speed of the leader, speed of the pack. So if the leader, you in the transaction, are getting sucked into the whirlwind of negativity, your customers are too. How could we expect them not to? And yeah, you have to guide them to that, don't you?
Absolutely.
So all the more reason to keep your head in the game, all the more reason to think positively. And so, Sheri, on a practical level, how does one do this? So you've got this thing that happens, maybe your deal falls apart, or you can't find something for your customer gets mad, something happens. It's going to. What's, practically speaking, how do you do it?
Honestly, take time for self-care.
Yeah.
That is huge. Really build yourself up. Give yourself that time every day, every week to build, whether it's exercise, prayer, meditation, anything that helps you to stay grounded and centered and ready to go. Take care of yourself, get adequate sleep, and, read inspiring and listen to inspiring stories. Honestly, being surrounded by other great leaders such as Jen, who can build into you. And every single week when we come to our accountability meetings, we lift each other up, and we have that positive energy together, and it really does help get you through the next week.
That's a really good point. One of the things we've discovered here at Game Changer Realty with new agents is that we can't be virtual. We have seen a vast shift in our success level of our agents when we came to in person, and we have invested in this brick and mortar that we know is an investment in our agents, because when we come together, they get energized, we get energized. And when we're energized, I'll go back to the quote, you get paid in direct proportion to the energy with which you show up. So if I can do nothing more than on Mondays, send my agents back out into the field more energized, even if they didn't learn a darn thing about the contract, I know that they're going to be better agents. They're going to better serve their customers. They're going to find better customers because they're now attracting better people into their worlds. So that's a really good point. So for those listening, if you are at a brokerage, if you're already a licensed agent and you're at a brokerage, invest in the time and to go in. Find the people there that have the energy that you need. Maybe your leader, if you don't have a leader or broker that's doing that, find one. There are people out there that are willing to invest in you. Maybe you need to find a new brokerage. If you don't have a brokerage where you can go and leave and feel better, that is something you need to consider. And if you're considering getting into real estate, one of the things that I'm always going to point you to is finding a brokerage that does support your energy every single week or every single day, for that matter. It isn't about the splits. It isn't about any of the bells and whistles. It really is about the leadership and who's there at the helm and what's their energy like. And because, again, speed of the leader, speed of the pack. Okay, I'm rambling. Really good points. And I'm really glad that you brought those up, because I think those have a lot to do with how we're thinking. So who's leading how you're thinking?
Absolutely.
I like to consider myself a thought leader. Someone who doesn't tell you how to think, but can help you figure out what you need to think. At least I try. So, Sheri, in the time that you've been in real estate, what is, and I'm putting you on the spot, so hopefully this will come to you. What is a mindset shift you have had about yourself inside of this industry that's been able to help you move forward?
Oh, wow. Honestly, my confidence has grown tremendously.
Yeah, I've seen it.
And part of that is, I was outside the workforce for 15 years and, just saw myself as a mom and a homeschool mom and an English teacher also, but just not in the business world for 15 years. And coming back and just finding myself again and believing in my abilities. And, so that part of that is really, that's a lot of the growth right there.
Yeah, so self-belief.
Yeah.
Yeah, and seeing yourself worthy and seeing yourself capable. And I've watched it. It's been amazing to kind of watch you come alongside you and watch you learn and grow and do it again and do it again. And be like, oh, I did that. That's what it's all about, guys. So Sheri's advice today to any new agent coming on board is take the time to invest in your mindset.
Definitely.
If you're going to get into this business and you don't have good mental, if you can be a mental ninja for yourself, this is going to be a lot harder than it needs to be. So learn that that is important and find people that support that, find resources that support that. Sheri, is there anything else you want to share with our listeners about mindset, attitude, anything like that in business?
Well, just, learn about yourself. Those assessments you have us do are huge in just figuring out who you are. No matter where you are in life, sometimes we need to remember who we are. If you get lost, those assessments that you have us do really help me to remember and realize some strengths that I have
Your
that
value.
maybe I've forgotten. Absolutely, my value.
Well, we took those assessments. By the way, she's referring to the DISC assessment and the Strength Finders assessment. And if you'll go back probably, I don't know, 10, 15, 20 episodes, I don't even know how long ago, probably 6 months ago, you're going to find a whole series I did on these assessments and how we create them and use them in the organization. And I'm a firm believer that every agent that walks through our door, because we are a brokerage of new agents, every single person that comes through our door has zero experience, but I refuse to let that be a hindrance to them advancing in their career, because like Sheri just said, they bring so much to the table that their customers need to know. So Sheri brings an incredible amount of care and tenderness and support to her customers. I've watched her work so hard for them. She also has a vast background. She's highly educated. There's so much about her that benefits her customers today that can supersede any lack of real estate knowledge. And by the way, those listening, lack of real estate knowledge is just really short. It's not very long before you're not a new agent anymore. I mean, look at you, almost 6 months in and you're already working with a buyer. You don't need my help. You're out doing your own thing.
Absolutely.
It's not very long. So leaning on those strengths and leaning on that value that you bring to the table that has nothing to do with real estate is key. I'm glad, Sheri, that you took that and you owned that and you use it, because until you get that confidence here in this industry, that's what you have to lean on, right?
Yes, absolutely.
Well, it has been a pleasure to lead you and grow with you and support you. And I can't wait to see, what comes in the future. So you guys keep an eye on this one. Okay. She's amazing. So thank you for coming in and doing this today, Sheri.
Thanks for having me.
Absolutely. And we'll come back. Okay. We'll do it again.
Wonderful.
Okay. We're going to promise to get her back in at least the next year so you guys can hear about her journey. For the rest of you guys, come back every single week to hear more from our agents. We have probably 4 or 5 more of these coming down the road. So every Tuesday we release the next episode. So we hope you guys will come back and check us out on the next one. Until then, take care, guys.
Thanks.